Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster, welcoming you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. Well, we've gotten very late in the season, especially for the football players, because these football teams are lining up this Friday night for their 10th games of the season, which means playoffs are right around the corner. We're going to have a couple of coaches here tonight whose teams are in the playoffs that we'll be visiting with in a little while. So this is a very important time of the year for them. And also another one of our sports, girls volleyball, they're getting into their playoff part of the season as well. So there'll be a lot of champions not only crowned in football, we hope, from here in the Birmingham area, because we've got quite a few of the teams here in the Birmingham-Jefferson County area, football-wise, that are probably going to make a serious run at some of their championships, regardless of what division it is, 7A, 6A, 5A. We've got some in the smaller classifications that have got some teams that will be qualifying to play. So it'll be interesting to see how many championship teams, football-wise, we can come up with from the Birmingham-Jefferson County area this year. And the thing about it, we have enough good coaches, enough good players, there's always a chance we could have multiple winners. Volleyball coaches, we've got some of the best in the state up here in Birmingham, and it wouldn't surprise me to see a championship or two land up here in the Jefferson County area for some of these outstanding teams as well. So we've got a big show lined up for you. Like I said, two coaches whose teams have qualified for the playoffs, and they are just a little over a week away now. So we're going to take a quick break. We come back, our first guest of the evening. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. We're at Huffman Electrical Contractors. A satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite, turkey, and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli, shaved bistro, and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well. And folks, welcome back. And as I talked about in the opening, we had two playoff coaches we're going to be visiting tonight. The first one, Matt Plunkett, the Gardendale Rockets coach. Always good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
And it's nice to say that we've got a playoff team,
That's
don't
right.
we?
4 straight years. We're excited about that.
Well, Coach, before we really get into it, for people that might be seeing you for the first time, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to Gardendale High School.
Well, I'm an Alabama guy, and my heart's in this state, and love it here. And was born and raised in Arab, Alabama, a little small country town. We were a 6A school, and just learned about hard work, you know, from my dad living on a 600-acre cattle farm. And so that's kind of my background. I went to college at Alabama, had the opportunity to walk on at UNA for 3 years, and then went to Alabama as a student assistant. Ended up graduating there, went and got a graduate assistant job out in Kansas at Pittsburg State University. From there, went to Carson Newman College and worked for Ken Sparks at Carson Newman. Moved on back to the Midwest and worked for Bart Tatum at Missouri Southern for 5 years. And then just really missed high school football, and through some recruiting connections, I started coaching high school football in Texas. And one of my best friends was a guy named Sean Bell, who's now coaching at Baylor on the Baylor coaching staff. And him and his dad mean the absolute world to me. And I talked to his dad today 3 times. And those guys just really restored that passion of high school football back to me. And to be good at something, you got to be really passionate about it. And just fortunate enough that the Gardendale job came open. My wife was from Texas, so I wanted to stay out there. But when Coach Mr. Caulfield, who was our principal, called me and asked me if I had any interest, it's the first I'd really thought about it. And applied for the job because I hadn't applied for it, and was fortunate enough to get hired and offered the job, and really like it here. And I was as green as they get, but I know how to work hard and surround myself with good people. And we've been able to identify some hardworking players and some hardworking assistant coaches that appreciate and have a love and respect for the game. And I think that's one reason why we've been able to meet some goals. We haven't reached our ultimate goal at Gardendale, which is to win a state championship, but we're going to keep working until we meet that goal.
Well, I know you and I had talked a little bit off the phone about this, because I've been in the sports business a long, long time, and high school in particular for the last 30 years. And the one thing that I have seen, and that you and I touched on a little bit about, it happens. You never know when it might happen. But your teams, you've had some good teams. And you were on the verge, because I know at Media Days earlier this year, you were very high on your team with a lot of reasons for that. Because they'd put in a lot of work. You had some good athletes, and it looked like everything was coming together. Then you have one of those seasons where you're fighting injury even more than you're fighting the opponents, it looks like.
Right.
Every once in a while you'll have a snake big year like that. I guess that happens sometimes to all coaches.
Right.
But I don't think I can remember in a long time seeing as many frontline players out of your 22 starters that have gone down with season-ending injuries or injuries that's taken time away as y'all have had this season.
Right.
That is some kind of adjustment you have to make.
It is, but like we tell our players after every game, no matter what the situation, we're not going to make excuses about it. And we have had some tough injuries, and our kids have had to bounce back. We've had to have a next man up mentality. But I think our players, what we've asked them to do is learn from it, grow from it, move on from it, and just teach a lot of life lessons with it. And really it just comes down to our everyday attitude. But you know, we started the year out against a team that we're going to see in the first round of the playoffs, which was a very good team. They were a state-ranked team, and 2 or 3 plays go different, we win that game. You know what I mean? But we've got a ton of respect for Muscle Shoals. You know, what was really strange about early part of the year, before our injuries really hit in, is our second game, which is a team we won last year against James Clements, gets moved to a Friday morning at 11 o'clock, and we play in a monsoon. And that really affected our offense, because our offense on a dry turf, we play really well. But again, I told our guys, we're not going to make excuses about the weather. We got to find ways to win. We got to capitalize on plays when they're available. So we tried to learn from those first 2 games. Against, at the time, James Clemens was ranked number 6 in 7A, and Muscle Shoals was ranked number 9 in 6A. So it's 2 state-ranked teams. Then we go on a 4-game winning streak, and we're averaging 42 points a game for the next 3 weeks with a young defense. Then we hit a little lull right there in the middle part of the year with Clay Chalkville. We had a starting quarterback goes down, our backup quarterback's not available, our third-string quarterback breaks his hand in the first quarter, and I've never seen a perfect storm happen like that ever. But again, we said, hey guys, we're not going to make excuses. And I was proud of our team for bouncing back the next week with a big win against Jasper. You always want to call them Walker, but Jasper.
Me too.
And then we play, I think, one of the top 3 teams in the state in Pinson Valley, and we're competing and fighting our butts off, and our players have seen the film. We were a play or 2 away right there from that being a different game. If we don't have an early penalty, we're going to the second quarter, 14-7, after a big run by a running back for a touchdown, and it could go either way. And then for about a minute, it was just injury, and we kind of had to catch our breath. And Pinson Valley's a really good football team, and they took advantage of that. And we had to go in and regroup and just kind of calm down at halftime. And I thought our kids never quit in that game, so I was proud. And then we ended up winning the last game of the year. You know, finished the season 6-4, 4th straight winning season. clinch a playoff spot, and we're getting ready for a really good Muscle Shoals team.
Well, I guess your team, injuries put aside, they're probably in about as good a place as you could want them right now.
No doubt.
Heading into the playoffs.
No
I
doubt.
think you got a break by having an
Yep.
open this week.
Yes.
So all the kids that can be healthy enough will be out there.
They will be.
So you got to like that. I don't mind telling you, I'm not crazy about having to go to Muscle Shoals, but I'll see you there. But the old saying goes, that's why we play the game.
That's right.
And there are things that if you want to look at it this way, upsets happen every week. You
No
know you
doubt.
won't be favored in
No
that
doubt.
game.
No doubt.
So it would be an upset. But guess what? That's part of the game as well.
Part of the game.
So you get up there and you never can tell. The ball takes funny bounces.
Yeah.
You've had a good year and a bittersweet year at the same time.
No doubt.
Because you've seen a lot of good things. But hoping that you and the team I know you'll be ready next week. Wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you.
I'd love to be able in the next few weeks sit down and maybe celebrate a championship with you
Sounds
guys.
great, man.
But good luck to you, and I look forward to visiting with some of your players, and whatever will happen, it'll happen. You go out and give your best effort. That's all you can do.
We will. Thank you, Snapper.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, 4 young men that have played a big instrumental part in the success Gardendale has had thus far. We'll be right back. The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors. A company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
At Andrews Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine, with shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrews Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, post-operative decisions, pre-operative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them. We're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrews Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.
Have you had that Mexican food fix yet? If you haven't, then Speedy's is the place to go. Located in Hueytown, 1 block off Warrior River Road on Forest Road, you can call in your order or go through the drive-thru or dine in as our family and friends do on a regular basis. For everything from nachos to enchiladas to taco salads, you can't beat the taste of Speedy's Mexican food. Remember, that's the original Speedy's is back and better than ever. To phone in the order or for more information, the number to call is 744-4659. That's Speedy's Mexican Foods.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Gang folks, welcome back. As you can see, I got 4 outstanding young men here who happen to be pretty good athletes. The gentleman sitting closest to me, Stephen Lancaster, a senior running back, and oh yes, there is a connection in the name there. I'm very proud of this young man. He's my grandson, and Stephen is a senior. Like I said, Eli Gazzola is a senior offensive lineman. Connor Howell, senior wide receiver, defensive back. And finally, Connor Bensko, a senior offensive lineman, right? All right, Stephen, we'll start this off with you. Going into this season, what kind of goals did you have set on, not only for your team, but for yourself?
Personal goals for me, one of the big things I want to do is break 1,000 yards rushing. On my personal goals, that's one of my big things. As a team, we all come in here thinking we want to win a state championship first and foremost. But as a team, that's what we're looking for is to win.
I'll tell you what, Stephen, for obvious reasons, I've been around you a long, long time. I've seen you play a lot of football. I can't remember seeing you play on a team that has gotten banged up as much as this one has this year. How does that affect you, and we'll talk with some of your teammates about it too, how does it affect you when you see some of the players that you really depend on so much go down and you lose them for the year? It don't help you, but you still have to fight through that.
Right, it hurts, you know, because most of you guys are brothers. Like all of us right here, we played our whole lives together. You know, it hurts a lot, but we have to look at it in like good perspective, thinking it's God's plan. No, let's look at it, move one week at a time, and just play for them and try to get as many wins as we can for those guys.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Stephen, and I could be wrong because I'm throwing this question to all you guys. Have y'all all played park ball together all through these years? Does that mean you played for his daddy?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I feel sorry for y'all. I tell you, you talk about a focused coach, so to speak. But Eli, talking about you, a senior offensive lineman as well, and you've had some of your teammates go down on the offensive line. Talk about what you expected for you this season as a senior.
I mean, it does hurt seeing one of our offensive linemen go down, but I mean, we have to face adversity and come back with, you know, we have somebody filling in his spot that's also a senior offensive lineman. He's taken the role pretty good. He's getting used to it, and I guess just a goal of mine is just every snap, just play like it's your last, because you never know when it's going to be. So just give it all you have, and just never quit during a game. Just try to finish the game with all I have.
Connor, I know I've heard your name a ton because you played the positions where it would be called a lot, and I see here where I know about your wide receiver expertise. You played some defensive back. Have you always preferred offense over defense, or does it matter?
It really don't matter. I mean, I like getting the ball, but also like covering people just to lock people down and stuff. Whatever helps the team the most.
Well, is it you get more joy out of catching a 50-yard touchdown pass or swiping a pass from a quarterback and running it back 40 or 50 yards for a touchdown?
I really like catching touchdown pass. I don't know. It just makes the crowd like go crazy and stuff. You get that adrenaline rush.
Well, that's good, and I might say you're very good at what you do as well.
Thank you.
But of course, none of this good stuff would happen for the receivers and the running backs if it wasn't for people like Connor down there on the end too. That's an offensive lineman, and Connor, describe. You know, as the old saying goes, football is blocking and tackling. Now, on offense, you've got to block, or that quarterback don't look good dropping back, or those running backs don't look good going through those holes. Talk about how proud you can be when you and your buddies do your job, what a difference it makes.
It's a great feeling. I mean, the whole play doesn't develop unless you do your job.
Absolutely.
You know, you let somebody bleed through, the play's over. They're going to make the play. It's down. So, you know, it's not always your name coming over the intercom, but when you have great guys like Connor and Steven, they're always appreciative on the sideline, high-fiving us, telling us, you know, that was you. You know, and so that always makes us proud.
And I tell you what, I know this from some of the football I've been involved in the past, because one of my best friends was an NFL quarterback, and believe me, those glamour positions, and we'll call them that because that's what they are called. He says if it wasn't for those guys up front, none of us guys would be able to do anything. So even if they don't say it enough, I'm going to say it a little more for you, thanks to guys like y'all, it works. Now, one thing that I'm always curious about, enjoy talking to young athletes about, us athletes are superstitious bunch. And we have some of the dumbest superstitions that could ever probably come about, but they mean something to us or we wouldn't have them. And we always think we're going to do better if we do whatever that superstition is. Now, with that thought in mind, Stephen, is there anything that you feel like you have to do repetitiously or you're not going to be as good as you ought to be?
I mean, no, sir, not really. I think, you know, you have to trust in your ability, and it doesn't matter what you wear or anything the day before. You go out there and just play the game. And you grow up your whole life, just play it. It's just a game.
Now, I agree a whole bunch with that because, and I'm curious what your teammates have to say about it, because regardless of what it is, trust me, I don't think mentally it may help you a little bit, but not enough to make a big difference. It's going to be your ability and you putting everything into it. But with that thought, Eli, do you have any superstitions or have to do anything the same way week after week?
I don't think I do. I mean, God's got me the ability to come and play football every day, and I feel like when I'm out there, He's with me, and I play for Him, and I feel like He gives me the ability to play every snap, and He helps me play better.
Okay, how about you, Connor?
I kind of do. I kind of like having stuff like a certain schedule, everything being the same week, because I don't want to like something to go crazy because I'm not wearing the right stuff or something, or I'm missing something. I just want it to be at a certain pace and everything to be the same.
Well, you're no different than a lot of other athletes, okay?
Yes,
Connor, how about you?
You know, I always like to take my little nap before the game, and if I don't have my headband, I feel incomplete. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's simple stuff, but I mean, really at the end of the day, you know, it makes a little difference in the way I think, but at the end of the day, I know I put in the work, so I'll be all right either way.
All right, now I'm going to break something to you guys that if you hadn't figured it out yet, you will when I tell you. We all have these superstitions we have, and we think we do better if we do. But let me tell you what, the good Lord don't care about those superstitions. You know how many times we point to the sky if we get a touchdown or make a great play. God don't care nothing about who wins a football game, but you know what He does care about is how you conduct yourself during that football game.
Yes, sir.
Because you'd hate to think that God didn't love those other players too, because you want Him to love you. And He loves all of us, especially if we do what He says, right?
Yes, sir.
But I don't blame you for having superstitions. I used to have some too. All right, all you guys are seniors, and Stephen, we'll start with you. And I have no idea, and you may not know where you're going to be going, but if you're able to play college ball at the next level, and I don't see you on Sunday afternoon one day, what do you think you might like to do in life down the road?
You know, if I could get lucky enough to play college football, that'd be a dream of mine. But if I don't and have to go to school, just, you know, I do play afterwards, I think what I want to be in life is a physical therapist. You know, much of my family is all in the medical field, and it's something I like, and I think it'd be fun. It kind of fits what I like to do.
Well, then let me put a little asterisk there. Have you ever thought about maybe on the side somewhere along the road coaching somewhere?
Yeah, sir, it's crossed my mind. I've definitely thought about it, yes,
Really?
sir.
Well, now I know if you was anything like your daddy, you'd jump all over
Yeah,
that.
you're right. That's right, yes, sir.
But, Eli, how about you?
I would definitely love to play college football one day, but I would like to go into criminal justice and somewhere down the road be a cop or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Connor?
I would love to play college football. I look into it all the time, but most of all, I'd like to go into nursing and like work in the ER or something because I like the adrenaline rush.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
It takes all kind now, Connor. Connor, how about you?
I've always, you know, I'm active. I can't be sitting down. I've thought about being a fireman because it's, you know, you're active, you have to work, stay in shape, and you know, it's bother people. You know, injuries never really bothered me, so that's okay.
Well, I know that football has been a big part of y'all's life, and it wouldn't surprise me one day if you didn't end up coaching somewhere, because let me tell you, 9 out of 10 coaches almost will tell you they didn't start out to be coaches, but they ended up there. Finally, the very last question I got, and we'll end the segment on this one. To this point in your young lives, and we'll start with you, Stephen, who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
Who's been the most inspirational person in my life would have to be, first one was God, but inspirational in this world has to be my dad. He's probably the most inspirational person in my life. Just how he's always showed me, like, when you get knocked down, always get back up and keep fighting. There's always a way out.
Okay, how about you, Eli?
Mine would probably be my brother, Dawson. He last year he faced a injury, ACL injury, and the way he battled back from it and just never quit every day. Now he's playing football. Just inspired me to, like, even when adversity hits your way, just keep on fighting and you'll overcome.
Connor?
Mine have to be both my parents because I mean they're two different people and they both come with different things and they both teach me different things that help me down the road.
Good, Connor.
Yeah, it's the same with me. My parents, you know, they've just always supported me, and especially with me wanting to play college football and everything, and just whatever I do, they say make sure you're passionate about it, and that's always been a great push for me.
Okay. Well, guys, as y'all head off into the sunset, so to speak, I hope y'all's best football is yet to be played this season. That means you'll do all right in the playoffs, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with another coach and more athletes. Don't you go away. We'll be right back. The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
The community features a world-class resort and spa. The amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course. Miles of historic trails. And the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say, I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well. And folks, welcome back. As I talked about in our opening segment of the show, that we were having two coaches whose teams are in the playoffs. Coach number 2, Ronald Cheatham here of the Winona Dragons. Coach, always good to see you.
Hey, thank you.
For people that may be seeing you for the first time on our show, tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up there at Winona.
Well, you know, been at Winona now for this December will be 29 years.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I spent about 15 years in college ball. Started out at Southern Miss, you know, where I played, coached there about 8 years. Went down to Southern University in Baton Rouge, stayed there about another 5. I was over at Sanford with Terry Bowden for a year before I decided to take the Winona job.
Been there ever since?
Right, been there ever since.
Well, I know many years ago I went to Jones Valley, and so Jones Valley and Winona merged a few years ago, I think.
Right. Actually, I was there the first year that merger took place.
Is that right?
That's right.
I know one of my good friends, you probably know who it is, Dieter Brock.
Yeah.
Went to there at Jones Valley. Dieter and I have been friends a long, long time. Well, forget about me and my friends. How about you and your friends? Going into this season, did you anticipate your team being as good as it's been thus far this year?
Well, you know, that's one of the reasons, you know, at one point I thought about just go ahead and retire. You know, I've been doing this since 1976, and then this group of kids we've got, you know, I felt like I had a chance to win it. We got to the doorstep, but we didn't get all the way across.
Right.
And we had a lot of kids coming back, you know what I mean? And it didn't surprise me for us having a good year, you know, but, you know, again, playoff time is a different season.
Right.
So, you know, you got to get yourself ready to play, and I really felt like this team had a chance.
Well, going into this year, talk to us a little bit about the 3 phases of this year's team, because it sounds like you've got a lot of good experience on it. Talk about the offense, defense, and your specialty teams.
Well, offensively, you know, Carlos Rogers, you can be talking to him shortly, and Anthony Hudson was 2 of the guys that was one of our main kids from a year ago. And they've had a great season. You know what I mean? Carlos have thrown the ball, well, and Anthony has caught the ball and made the plays that we anticipated that he was able to make. Our offensive line, last year going into it was green. We didn't have only one returning kid that even had playing time. So it took those kids a time to gel, and they just kept gelling and kept gelling and got better, and gave us an opportunity, to score points later as the year went on. And even this year, we maybe ahead of the game a little bit offensively because, because those kids came back. Every one of those kids came back this season. We lost one of our centers this year, which was our key to our offense, our line play. He had knee surgery, and he's out for the rest of the year. That's unfortunate, and his name is Caleb Hare. And Caleb was one of our good kids. He just, worked hard all summer. And we just felt real bad that, about his injury. But that's football. So, you know what I mean? And, the kids stepped up and, and somebody else, fell in place. And we didn't have a really, we had a drop off, but not as severe as we thought we really have. And I really respect those kids and the leadership we have with our kids of saying somebody else got to now step up.
Well, I know, Coach, one of the things that every coach looks forward to around playoff time is his team peaking the nearer you get to playoffs. So having said that, in your heart of hearts, you feel like that your team's best football is still ahead of them.
Hey, absolutely. We've got some chance to play good football. I think is in front. We're going to be playing some really good football teams, and when you hit the playoffs, there's really not a bad teams out there. There's a reason why you're there.
Right.
And so we've got to do what we're supposed to do and be consistent in the process. The process is you do things consistently that equals to points and also equals to wins. However, you do things inconsistently, it goes the other way. So we got to get even more consistent, and we're going to try to make this run once again. And we was blessed last year, our first appearance in the finals. We was actually up at halftime, and Beauregard did a great job, and took us out in the second half. And as we always talked at a high school, that second half of football games is always the key. And Beauregard did the second half. We hope one day we get a chance to see those guys again.
Well, let me ask you this: going into the playoffs, I think y'all have Alexandria. Are they coming to your place?
Right.
And so, how much do you know about them?
Well, we've been watching film on them all, since last Thursday. We started, over the weekend, Sunday, with our game preparations, and they're a good football team. They're 8-2 ball club, and the two teams, they're in the third seed and 8-2. And they lost to Etowah, who won the region, and they also lost to the runner-up in the region. So you're looking at a football team that knows how to win. Right. That's in the third slot, and that's what makes this game so pivotal for us, is the fact that this is not one of those third slot teams that got a horrible record. These guys are actually pretty good. So, we got to put our best hat on, and go out there and do the best we can.
As you look at this team without it sounding like we're criticizing one side of the ball or the other, but is your team pretty balanced, or does one side of the ball defense a little ahead of the offense, or how would you say that?
Well, our defense has really come on during the season. We lost some good linebackers last year through graduation, and we had some young guys that had to step up. Well, it took a moment for those guys to kind of play at a level. We still, trying to get that play down to the point where we were last year. And we've got had some young secondary kids that have step up, and they coming on defensively. We started out this year, playing fairly decently. Those guys have gotten better and better as the season gone on. And like it's always an old cliche, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. Right. And so you got to have that defensive side of the ball playing good, and we try to press it as best we can at Winona. We take our hats off our defensive kids. They've come through, and they're gelling, and we pressing them to jail.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, as we end up this segment, it sounds like to me you feel like this team is in a good place right now and ready for the playoffs. And so you just go out there, and the team that hits harder or forces enough turnovers or plays consistently enough that on that playoff evening next weekend, that's the one that's going to move on.
Well, you know, I had a question asked today, so, well, Coach, how y'all going to do? And my answer always, I'll let you know about 9 o'clock game night.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a pretty accurate statement. Well, we wish you all the luck in the world. Like you said, you were just a half away from doing it last year. Who knows, you might be able to seal the deal this time.
Well, we pray that it happens, and like all teams that's in the playoffs is praying for the same thing. So, you know, we just going to take it one game at a time and just see how it goes.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming by to visit with us, and good luck in the playoffs. Okay?
Well, we thank you for inviting us.
And folks, we're going to take a quick break. In a moment, we'll visit two young men very instrumental in the outstanding season Winona has had thus far. We'll be right back.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors. A company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective. And folks, welcome back. In this segment, you can tell I got two outstanding young athletes sitting up here next to me. Closest to me, both of them are seniors, by the way, Carlos Rogers and Carlos, quarterback, right?
Yes, sir.
And other athlete, Anthony Hudson, a senior as well, and you're a wide receiver.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, I got a couple of numbers I'm going to throw at people. It's very impressive. Carlos has completed 61% of his passes for 1,253 yards. 20 touchdowns, that's a good even number, I like that. And 249 yards rushing, which means you're not running for your life very much. And so that's a good thing for a quarterback. Great year thus far, Carlos. And Anthony, a wide receiver, 837 yards, 43 catches, 16 touchdowns. You not throw to anybody else. No, I'm just kidding. That's a great combination. So going into this season, Carlos, I guess you an experienced quarterback, started a couple of years, 2 or 3 years?
No, I started like my first experience in high school, like 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
And you've been the starting quarterback ever since?
No, I wasn't starting. But
Oh, okay. How many years were you the starter?
2.
2? Okay. Well, going into this year, y'all, as we talked with the coach, y'all come within a half of winning a state championship last year. Does that sort of linger with you and make you wonder, good Lord, we almost had it, to want to go out there and finish the job this year?
Is there like, that was like my first taste of being in like a high school finals before.
Yeah.
And it kind of hurt everybody that we lost because of it, but we have like a better chance of going back and winning this time.
Well, I was going to say that experience, it helped you from that standpoint, knowing what to expect. But I also guarantee you it probably made you think, we're going to finish the job this time, right?
Sure.
Anthony, how about you? It was a very successful season. I'm sure you were a big part of that as well. But I imagine it would, you probably get the feeling it would be nice to go through and have a tournament run like that, a playoff run, and end up winning it all, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the experience was real good. So, like, we come to this season, I already have experience of going, so it'll be like, now we just focus on finishing.
Right. Well, I tell you what, guys, I don't know about you, but most high school athletes, and I was one about over 50 years ago, but I was still one. We're superstitious a lot. For whatever reason, athletes have superstitions for whatever reason. And so with that thought in mind, Carlos, is there anything that you feel like you have to do certain ways or certain things or whatever as you prepare for games week in and week out? Do you have any little superstitions like that?
Like before games and stuff, I like go to like a room by myself and get my confidence, get my head straight, get my head focused, listen to my little music before the game, and as we go on the field, like doing pregame warm-ups, I prepare myself then.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, too, and you being a quarterback and holding that position, there's a lot of mental aspects to the game. You got to mentally prepare for what you're going to do physically, right? Yeah. So you're right about that. Anthony, do you have any kind of superstitions? Or?
Yeah, I do. Like before the game, like for pregame, I always be the last one, like on purpose. Go to them, I always get mad. But like, I always like be the last one, and it's like, I kind of like think, like by myself.
Yeah. It's sort of mentally, you're looking, as the old saying goes, I guess, we look for any edge we can find, right? Yeah. All right, now both you guys are seniors, and if you don't play college ball somewhere, which I hope you do, you got anybody looking at you, or you plan on going to play college ball?
I'm going on playing, but I don't have nobody looking at me yet.
Right now? Yeah. If you get a chance to play, of course, we'd love to see you on Sunday one day in the NFL. Who is a quarterback that you like to pattern your game after, say, golly, that's the way I'd like to play?
Joe Webb.
Who?
Joe Webb.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And because if you do that and you can live up just a little bit to it, you'd be a pretty good guy, wouldn't you?
He comes see us every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, something I call him on the phone.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, if you didn't end up playing football at the next level, college or pros, what do you think, or have you even thought about it, what do you think you might like to do?
Either sports medicine.
Sports medicine?
Or go to school for cosmetology.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about coaching?
Yeah, I have.
Really? Because I tell you what, I talked to a bunch of these coaches, and a lot of them tell me they never dreamed they'd be coaches. They didn't start out that way to be one. They end up being some of the best that's ever was. So you just never know what might happen. How about you, Anthony? Wideouts. Who do you look at there and say, gosh, that's the way I want my game to be?
Ryan Switzer. He played for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Came from North Carolina. Yeah, I watch a lot of his highlights, and I try to base my game off him. Because we got the same side, like, a good comparison.
Well, I tell you what, if you're not a big receiver, then you got to figure out other ways to make your game better. You got to run better patterns, or you got to be more precise. The main thing, you got to have a lot of stick-em on them fingers, right? Because if the ball comes your way. Well, when you looked at your schedule this year, and we'll start with you, Carlos, which game that you look at and say, now that's the one I'm really looking forward to, who would it be?
I don't really necessarily have a certain game to look at, because all games need to be played as the same.
Well,
week to week. But I don't really have nobody that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's okay too, because that's a good way to look at it. I mean, you got to prepare. Sometimes you might have teams that you go up against that maybe you know some of the guys and maybe played some kind of park ball with them or something like that.
Any team can be beat at any given time if you don't.
Oh yeah, right. Anthony, you got anybody you looked at that schedule and say, I want to play them and have my best game against them?
It wasn't a specific team, but I know after every week, the next team, you make them like you trying to study them, you trying to know them. So it'll be every week you'll be I got to read on them, any little thing. So it'd be really week to week. You try to get close to every team. So
I sort of understand that as well. Well, guys, look, you know that you got to have it up here, right? Because if you don't take care of the books, you don't make it to the football field, right? So you got to be academic. You got to be on top of your game. and then you work hard, coach practices you hard, and you get a break on Friday night to get to hit somebody else besides your teammates, right?
Yeah.
But what do you guys do, and we'll start with you, Carlos, what do you do to unwind, to get away from football just a little bit, to get totally relaxed? Do you go hunting? Do you like movies? Is there anything you like to do in particular?
I just played a video game.
You're good with the videos?
Yeah.
Anybody beat you much?
Not
too much.
Not too often.
Okay, you can almost say with my buddies, I'm number one.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Anthony?
Just sit at home and watch sports.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
So you like to catch up with what's going on around the world in the world of sports. Okay. A couple of last questions. Number one, if y'all played your best football and you played good football, is your best football still ahead of you?
Have I played it?
As a team, yeah.
I think so.
You got to look at it sort of that way, don't you? And in other ways, to be ready for the playoffs. Well, guys, last question I always enjoy asking young athletes is, Carlos, to this point in your life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? Who's meant the most to you?
What meant the most?
You said what meant the most to me?
Yeah, who's meant the most to you as far as guiding you? Your coach, your parents?
My dad, like, after everything, he don't never talk about the good because anybody can do good and be happy, but he always talk about the bad because like it wouldn't be like too often, or he talk about the bad because it encouraged me to do better.
Just to
Yeah, and I build off that.
Yeah, to make sure that don't happen again,
Yes.
right? How about you, Carlos? I mean, Anthony.
Actually, it's my grandma.
Really?
Yeah, because she don't know nothing about football. But like she'll turn on the TV and see me Friday night. She'll be like, "Oh, I seen you on TV. I seen you on TV." So that kind of who I play.
Yeah, she may not know football, but she knows who you are, doesn't she? Well, listen, guys, you've had a great season so far. It's not over. Now we're getting ready to take care of business, right? So I wish y'all all the luck in the world. Maybe this year you come away with the title. If not, as long as you do the best you can do, be proud of yourself because that coach will be proud of you, okay? So good luck to y'all in the playoffs. Folks, we've had two outstanding coaches, some outstanding athletes to visit with tonight. We'll do it again next week. So then, you know what the snapper always says, bye.